So the retcons for the ninja arc are continuing yet again. If you would like a big explanation and refresher as to what's going on, I'll have the video that I made previously on this topic up in the right hand corner. But long story short, the arc that we've been following for almost 2 years now has been changed yet again, and we're currently going along with the origin of the ninja village and how the ninjas met and how it connects to God and Blast and all that stuff. But before we get into that, I just want to acknowledge the cover page of this chapter, which is great goon material. I'm pretty sure One and Murata had that in mind when they planned to put this on the cover page, almost like a I'm sorry to the fan base. Now, aside from gooning, it made me think like, where is Tatsumaki? And when's the last time that we saw her? And like, what is she up to? Well, let me give you a little refresher on that because I'm sure not everyone is really aware. So after Tatsumaki had her big fight with Saitama, she ultimately cooled down, and she orchestrated this plan with Fubuki along with McCoy to use the corpses of the monsters that Metal Knight was keeping imprisoned for his experiments as a ploy to cover up her said battle with Saitama and all the damage that it caused. To get back into the good graces of the Hero Association and all of the big investors that live there now. But this was also a plan within a plan, because they also used one of the monster corpses as a vessel to transport Psychos away secretly without the knowledge of the Hero Association. Tatsumaki told them that she would go out on her own to find her, but it was ultimately Fubuki who wound up getting her. And I think that's also the last time that we saw of either of those. Then in the following chapter, Tatsumaki is recruited to make this commercial to recruit new heroes. And at first she gets real serious about it, trying to get across like, hey, this is life or death, you have to be really powerful and give it your all and all that good stuff. But the producers just wound up editing it to make her look like she's all cute and happy, and obviously that made Tatsumaki very angry. Oh, and actually we do see Fubuki in this scene acknowledging that she did see the commercial, so I think this is actually the last time that we see Fubuki, although I could be wrong. But aside from Fubuki, that's also the last time we see Tatsumaki. I mean, we see her mention the few chapters after this, but like actually appearing real time in the story and advancing her own storyline, this is it. This is where it stopped. So in case you were wondering, Tatsumaki's kind of just chilling, I guess. I don't know. I mean, she'll be back, of course. She does have a future storyline waiting for her. I can't get into it, obviously, because it's spoilers, but it'll come around, sooner or later once these retcons are done. And speaking of those, let's get into them, because this chapter is for the third time condensing the origin of the Ninja Village along with how Flashy Flash and Sonic met. And long story short, it goes on to explain that the Ninja Village was a production site for assassins. It gathered orphans exclusively under the age of 17 and basically trained the crap out of them. We also find out that Flashy Flash was sold to this village by his parents when he was 5 years old. However, Flashy Flash purposely acted like a failure so that he would get harsher training. It's at this point, being in the weak group, that he meets Sonic. Now, one of the big changes about this sequence is how much more muscular and toned Sonic and Flashy Flash are in this sequence. Like in the original, they just look, fine and normal, I suppose. Now it's just like, wow, okay, Murata, you gooned in the beginning with Tatsumaki and now you're gooning with these two, but I guess it's perfectly balanced, right? But throughout this sequence, they build a camaraderie and friendship, and they overcome obstacles and all that good stuff. And we also find out that Sonic was in fact born inside the facility. This is not being retconned, it's staying as canon, so I do think this is very important. It's possible that he is like the son of Empty Void, or he's the son of Empty Void's sister, Luna. If she is still going to be a thing, not sure yet, obviously, but I do think that Sonic has some kind of significant lineage going on, especially since he says that he was born with an indomitable spirit. That has stayed the same throughout all of these changes. But then it says that several years have passed and he's ultimately ranked #1 in the village. And when he goes to the graduation exam, this is where the biggest change happens, because we're seeing it now take place inside of this like cathedral type cult religious place. And I'm not really going to comment on how these guys are dressed because we're all thinking the same thing, especially if you're American. I can't say it on YouTube, but yeah, these guys look like that. I don't know if that's what one of Murata intended, or they're just thinking, hey, this is what evil cult members would look like. I don't know. The main cult guy here, who I guess is just the instructor, reveals one of the God cubes. And this makes sense because that's what the whole Ninja Village purpose is, to breed someone worthy enough to accept God's influence and essentially become the way that Empty Void is, or should I say was. Like someone rivaling Cosmic Fear Garo, to be like a disciple of God, to do about his bidding, but then ultimately be the vessel to resurrect him. But as soon as he reveals this, Flashy Flash just slaughters all of them. And this comes full circle with what Flashy Flash's backstory always was, and it was that he slaughtered the entire Ninja Village. And I like this change here because I think this makes his motivation in doing it make way more sense. I mean, sure, he had every right to slaughter them just based off of how they treated him and how they run the Ninja Village in general, but I guess to have him seem more altruistic, I guess you could say, you know, stopping the cube ritual once and for all. This is a way to go about it. Then we also find out that in order for Sonic to avoid this whole slaughtering, Flashy Flash had poisoned him, but knew that he wasn't going to die from it. It would just be enough to keep him in bed. Speaking of being in bed, my voice sounds weird because I'm currently sick at the moment, so, you know, just bear with me. Then we also go on to see, like, this is how Sonic eventually became what he is now, because we found out in the Ninja Village that his dream was to become the new leader of it and to turn it into something good for these orphans and these people who want to learn these skills instead of turning them into killing machines. But since Sonic was kind of just thrown into society, you know, after being born in the Ninja Village and living there his entire life, he kind of lost his way and started taking assassin jobs. Then we cut back to Saitama's apartment and it's just Flashy Flash, Monaco, Blast, and Sitch. This is also a big new change and it's really funny. This also makes me realize why they wanted to change this sequence, because they wanted to add some levity to it. This is needed in my opinion. We did go through some heavy stuff and I like how they're kind of bringing it back more to the earlier tone of the series where they can balance those things. Because right after that big exposition dump, Saitama's just like, so why are you all in my room? Which is, you know, a recurring gag. And then Genos pops in through like a flap in the wall and like Sitch is like, you shouldn't make unauthorized alterations to the dorms. And it ends with Saitama kind of just suggesting for them to make him some stew with the leftover ingredients he has in the fridge. That's where the chapter ends.
Hey, but real quick guys, you should check out Gamer Supps in case you haven't already. They're a great energy supplement that can help you with gaming, studying, or anything that really you want to do. They come in caffeine and caffeine free, and they also have nootropics in it like L-theanine, L-tyrosine, and choline L-bitartrate. So it's not just, you know, regular caffeine. It makes you really feel good and focused. If you're looking for a tub to buy, check out the new flavor Nuclear Bombsicle by Casio. It tastes just like a bombsicle. This is already one of my favorite flavors. They also have these awesome sus bars, which are only 100 calories and only has 1 gram of sugar and 8 grams of protein. My favorite flavor is the chocolate. I cannot get enough of these things. They also have gamer tea in both caffeinated and non-caffeinated. I personally really like the caffeine-free sleepy time with theanine. You can also get some of these awesome gamer soups, which I absolutely love. So guys, check the link in the description and make sure to use code BIGZ for 10% off. Thanks guys.
Let me know what you guys thought about this one in the comments, and if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.